Welcome to the Win, Make, Give podcast. Chad Hyams here without Bob or Ben, which makes it all that much more exciting of an interview today. That's right. I don't have to worry about Bob jumping in. I don't have to worry about Bob taking us to left field. I don't have to worry about him bringing up some strange things about basketball or anything crazy like that. Although I don't know, maybe our guest today loves basketball and we'll be missing out on having Bob around. Yep. I want to bring an interview to you with a power person, right? You want to learn about working better for yourself, not necessarily just as a self-employed, but just working better for yourself. This is the person you want to hear. Now, as you know, here on Win, Make, Give, I'm not going to give you some bio that I'm just going to sit back and read. No. I'm going to introduce you to Carson Tate right now, welcoming her to the Win, Make, Give podcast. Carson, thanks for joining us.
Chad, I'm glad to be here. And sorry, Bob's not. I live in North Carolina. It's Duke and UNC basketball. We've got good basketball where I live.
Absolutely, you do. Bob likes the pros, so I don't know if he talks college as much.
Nope, I'm out then.
All right, there you go. Good. Okay, so Carson, look, as I already said, I'm not going to introduce you. I could read this bio that's in front of me and list off all these No. Tell our audience who you are and why you are here today.
Let's start with why I'm here today. I'm here today because I believe that you can work simply and live fully, and that you can love your work, that your work can bring joy, meaning, and fulfillment to your life, and it doesn't have to suck. So that's why I'm here. And who I am, I started my career in human resources, worked in outside sales, the entrepreneurial itch, got it, and I started the company I now run, Working Simply, 15 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So, folks, we've got a power woman here who's going to help each and every one of us work simply. What does that mean, work simply? Does that mean, okay, I do as little work as possible? That makes it simple, right?
Yes. How about you do the work that generates the greatest impact for you professionally and personally in the most efficient way possible?
Okay. So now you just said enough for the whole podcast for us to just dive into that sentence and break it down. Which piece of that sentence and that answer do you want to start with for us, Carson?
Let's start with impact. Because I
Okay.
think what we have seen, so coming through the pandemic, productivity increased for lots of folks. And in that increase, I think there might have been an over focus at times on output. I'm just going to get the work done. I'm just going to do the report. I'm going to attend every meeting. There needs to be a reorientation to impact. So,
Okay.
do you need to attend this meeting? Is it the highest and best use of your time? Do you have a role? What's the value that you're going to bring? What are you going to get out of it? And why are we still doing the report that no one reads? So it's shifting to impact versus output. Oh, let's try that again. Impact versus output.
Well, I'm glad you made the first stumble because I'm going to make many of them. And now I can feel better about it as we go. Okay. So look, one of the things you said in there also was efficiency. Talk about, I don't know how many people, we got a ton of entrepreneurs. Our audience is probably largely entrepreneurs. And some of them are the most inefficient people that I've ever met because as entrepreneurs, we always believe we have to keep every plate spinning. It's our responsibility. But we're not being efficient when we do that. Talk to us a little bit about efficiency and how you have seen it, Carson.
So there are two things in efficiency. One, what are your unique strengths, skills, and capabilities? So maybe you, quote, can spin all the plates, but do you spin them all with the same impact and results as others? So efficiency is knowing the strengths and capabilities that you bring to the table and focusing your time and energy on those. And the second piece is knowing how you think and process. So everybody has a unique work style, which is how you think about information. It informs how you structure your time, how you communicate, the app that you want to use for your to-do list. All is informed by your work style. There's no one size fits all productivity solution. So to be efficient, you have to personalize your productivity based on how you think and process. And what I see in my entrepreneurial colleagues is we find a new great app that's going to take over our lives and simplify them. Well, it works great for you, Chad, but it made my life a mess.
Hmm.
Why is that? Well, you think differently. You're more analytical and linear, and I'm more big picture and intuitive. So your Trello boards don't make any sense to me because I want to mind map and draw.
Interesting. Okay, so that's a great point for us all to remember. One, I'm definitely not analytical. Two, I got no Trello boards. I can't even handle some of the other apps that everybody wants me to use because it just get those things out of my way when everybody's just sending messages all day long thinking they're being funny. So, folks, remember that. That's great. Now, you said, and one of the things when I was reading about you, Carson, you actually created the productivity style assessment so we can find out a little bit more about what our productivity style actually is. We love assessments. I mean, we talk about them on the talks all the time, right? We all love knowing our Myers-Briggs numbers and our strength finders and our disc profile and stuff. Tell me about the productivity style assessment. What am I going to learn? How do I take it? And
Yep.
what's the value to it?
So you're going to learn your work style. So there are 4 different work styles: prioritizer, planner, arranger, and visualizer. When you take it, and you can take it on our website, workingsimply.com, you are going to get a score, and it's going to tell you, Chad, you are a visualizer, which means your big picture, your synthesizer, an ideator, probably more kinesthetic and visual. It's going to tell you that. It's going to tell you how you prefer to communicate. And then you're also going to get a list of tools and strategies and techniques that will work for you, that enable you to be productive. So it's the beginning of building your personalized productivity toolkit.
Okay, worksimply.com.
.com.
Okay. Work simply. Am I getting that
Working
right?
working simply
Working simply. Okay. I want to
simply.com.
make sure I get that right for everybody because when this recording is over, I'm going there, right? I'm opening the tab right now so I remember because audience, I'm going to post my results when I post this interview in our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/win, make, give. And I want you to come and tell us not only your takeaway from Carson, which we've got more to come, but I also want to hear what was your productivity style. Let's see which one of us fit which aspects on that so we know moving forward. So workingsimply.com, go take the assessment there and then bring us your results. So love our assessments. We're assessment junkies around here. Okay. Let's talk about, we all need this to get up every morning, Carson, and we need passion, right? Otherwise, especially as the winter months are coming and the clock change comes and the holidays get here. And no, I just want to lay under that blanket a little bit longer and all of that stuff. How can a job help me find meaning and passion? Or do I need to go find my passion first and then go find a job, right? What's that saying? Love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life, right? Tell me your thoughts on all of that.
So I don't believe that any job is exempt from significance. So I believe every job has the opportunity for you to find meaning and purpose in it because meaning is defined by you. So meaning isn't defined by what happens in your life or your boss or the product that your company makes. It's your interpretation of your work.
Okay.
So you can be very passionate in your work if you look for the meaning in it and how it relates to your values, your contribution in and for the world.
Okay. So do I need to know those first and right? Or can I
Right.
discover them kind of through my job?
You can discover them through your job. So the easiest access point here is to ask yourself a couple of questions to really get at the why of your work. So for example, if you didn't host this podcast, what would be the impact on your current listeners? So you suddenly go off the air. What's the impact to them?
For me or for them? Because some of them might be cheering right now if you give them that option. Say, yay, let's chat. Uh, to
Okay, so
me,
there's a camp that's really excited. All right, so great. You have
sure.
made them happy. We're happy about that. Okay.
Yeah,
But you're
those are the people I'm not talking to anymore.
okay.
The rest of them, hopefully, they would feel a loss of value being brought to them because they wouldn't have had access to someone like you. They wouldn't get the information like when we just broke down the 6 thinking hats or something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool.
They would be like, hey, we just took them through. So hopefully, If I weren't doing this podcast, there would be a lot of people out there that would be missing some piece of value that they're getting throughout every week.
Missing a piece of value that they can then apply to their professional or personal lives that in
Yes.
some way helps them generate more revenue, lead a more effective team, have a better conversation with their partner. So there is value that you're providing. So
Wow,
if
you
you
make me
go,
sound awesome.
well, you are, right? Every job has significance. So if you, that's the first step, is just to back out. If I didn't do this, my unique job, what is the impact on my team, on our customers, on the broader community? That will help you start to see the impact that you're making. And then I would say, okay, so equipping, empowering listeners with new tools and strategies to improve the performance of their team and their business or their personal life.
Yep.
Does that sound important to you?
Yes.
There you go. There's some meaning in your work.
Wow. All right, folks, that's the whole episode.
We're
Thanks. No,
done.
okay. We're done. Because I'm bringing everybody meaning, so I'm good now.
Yeah.
I've brought you meaning. All right, let's keep going on this. This is wow. Okay, so your newest book, Own It, Love It, Make It Work. Right. Subtitle on that is How to Make Any Job Your Dream Job. Now, again, most of our audience and everybody, you can get the book everywhere. We'll have a link to it in the show notes for you, of course. So you can go get it, own it, love it, make it work. You can either hear it or read it. Most of our people, hopefully, you're out there living your dream job already, audience, right? That they're entrepreneurs or they're working in some industry that they're really loving, and that's how they have come across us. But talk to the people that maybe are listening to our episode or that our audience is sharing it with someone saying, hey, you should check out what this Carson Tate was talking about here. How can people make any job a dream job?
So the first step is to recognize that your fulfillment, happiness, and engagement at work is your responsibility. So
Ooh, 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 ooh. Time out. Say that again.
your fulfillment, engagement, and happiness at work is your responsibility.
Mm.
I think it's too important to outsource to your manager, your client, your team member, or your company. The other thing to consider is your client, your boss. I'm not a mind reader. So, how do I know what you need to be engaged and fulfilled? I can't co create a workplace, a relationship, a career development plan for you if I don't know what you want and need. So, that's the key first step in the own it. You own it. The
Okay.
second step, okay, if you're willing to accept the ownership, the second step is now we got to do some work to identify what your engagement needs are. So I have 5 essentials for professional fulfillment. So
Oh, good.
here
We
we
love
go.
lists.
Love list. You love a model, right? A
Yes.
model, a list. So the first one is about admitting and identifying your recognition and reward needs. All of us need to be recognized for our contributions, and all of us need to be rewarded in a way that enables us to feel that value, that sense of valued and satisfaction. So, for example, do you prefer a verbal thank you? So, or do you want an email saying great job? Or do you want your name on a plaque in the building? Well, probably not going to do that anymore. But how do you want to be recognized? If you don't know, how am I, as your customer, team member, or manager, ever going to say thank you in a way that resonates? I
Mm.
can't.
Okay. So that's almost understanding our own love languages enough to know that I need the verbal or I need the time or I need the gift or whatever it's going to be for me.
Whatever it's going to be for you. And
Okay.
owning that in a professional context. It's one thing in our personal lives, it's
Yep.
just as important professionally. So then the second step is about strengths. Knowing your strengths, these are your unique skills, capabilities, experiences. This is where when you focus on one of those, you are at your best. Knowing what those are and then aligning them to your company's strategic goals so that you can do more of them. So, the whole thought behind strengths is that when you do them, You are more engaged, you're happier, you're more successful. You can't not do them. You want to do them. So we want you to do more of these. And if I have to do this in the context of a company, well, they've got to have something they're going to get out of it. I'm going to align my strength and demonstrate to my manager, my customer, hey, when you have me do this, this is the benefit: revenue, retention, increased customer satisfaction. So, step one, recognition, reward. Step two, strengths and alignment. Step three, play nice with others. It's all
Oh,
about.
now you lost me. I was doing great on the first two. You lost me now,
I
Carson.
know. Well, since Bob's not here, we don't even have a real example we're going to be able to work with. We're just going to have to pretend. So, this is about cultivating authentic relationships in the
Okay.
workplace. None of us work in a silo, we all work on teams, virtual teams, customer teams, vendor partner teams. And so, this is about treating others the way they want to be treated. So, we were really happy to learn the golden rule. It kept us from biting others in kindergarten. Now, as an adult, we're moving on to the platinum rule. So I'm going
Ooh,
to treat you the way you want to be treated.
okay. Got it. That's a good one. I like the platinum rule. That's a good
Platinum
one.
rule.
Okay.
Fourth step is
Yep.
about develop. And this is about developing yourself. What is your individual development plan? Where do you want to go in your career? Where are the gaps that you have in your skills and competencies? What do you want? This is not waiting for one of your, if you have a board of advisors as an entrepreneur, for one of your board members to say, hey, Chad, I see that you need to do this. No, this is doing the introspection work around this is where I want to go in my career. If it's a job or revenue target, here's the capabilities I have today. Here's the gap. And here's the first couple of steps I want to take to fulfill it.
Okay.
And the fifth and final one, we've done some work around already. This is about meaning. So, finding the meaning and purpose in your work. So, step one, recognition, reward. Step two is about strengths and aligning strengths to your company's goals. Step three is about playing nice with others, using the platinum rule to cultivate authentic relationships. Well, and then step four, developing that roadmap, that individual career roadmap. And the fifth is identifying the meaning and purpose in your work.
Wow. And I love, I mean, you just did my job for me, right? The recap of the list. I mean, not only the list, you did the recap of the list, Carson. So let me walk you through the list a little and maybe, I don't know, ask you some questions maybe others don't usually ask you and our audience might be interested. Let's learn a little bit more about you. How is it you like to be recognized and appreciated through your work?
I like real time verbal feedback.
Carson, this is an amazing episode. You are doing a fantastic job with this interview. I'm loving having you here.
Thank you, Chad. I'm ready to continue.
Okay, good. All right. There we go. So now we know how to identify you and we've now given it. All right. What are some of your strengths that you've been able to use as you build your company along the way?
Simplifying the complex. So, a complex idea, methodology, theory, and making it practical and tactical.
Love it. This is why I like you so much. One of my strengths is making the complicated simple. So we will play nice with each other. We already know the platinum rule as you said it there. So for playing nice with others, it's just remembering, how do you identify though how others want to be treated, right? That's the golden rule was easy. Treat others like you'd want, okay, because I know how I want to be treated. How do you identify through your employees, coworkers, leaders, and clients how they want to be treated so you can do the platinum rule?
So, two ways. The
Okay.
first, when we're working with our clients, Chad, we use our productivity style assessment. Because if we think about working with others in terms of executing, communicating, getting work done, if I know your work style and you're more big picture and don't like a lot of details, then I'm not going to feed you a lot of details.
Okay.
That's the
So
way. Yeah,
let
go
me
ahead.
ask you something on that because you said there were four profiles when we
hmm
talked about it near the beginning.
hmm
Okay. Is it the sort of thing that I really want to be in an organization with all four? Or am I going to get a lot more done if we all kind of fit into the same productivity style? Or is it the problem we're going to miss all the details because we're all visualizers or something like that? What would be the right balance when it comes to those conversations?
The answer to your question is yes for all three, which
Of
you
course.
knew, of course. So, first, yes, we want diversity in all definitions of diversity. Highest performing teams and organizations are diverse. So, our lens, work style. I need all four styles. You are going to like working with people that are like you, who
Yeah.
think like you and work like you. And you're going to be very efficient and effective with some pretty significant blind spots. So, our visualizer is that big picture person. Their blind spot, details. They're going to give us the new ideas, they're going to innovate, they're going to challenge the status quo. But when it comes to the implementation and the sequencing and making sure that we stay on time for our deliverables, not their strength. We're going to need to bring a planner in our typology, a planner into that to help with that piece. That's their strength. And you also are going to find predictable conflict when your favorite little tribe of visualizers now has to go work with these really detail organized sequential. Who are these people living in the weeds? I don't want to hang out with them. We've got conflict.
Okay. So, folks, remember, go to workingsimply.com to take the profile because we want to know in our Facebook group, who are you? So we can know which tribe we want to put you in and whether we want to keep you around for all of that. Okay. So, you had said two things when I
Yep.
said, how do we know the first was kind of for you guys, at least, it's know their profile.
Know their profile. And the
What
other
was the
one,
second thing you were going to share?
ask. So,
Hmm.
one of the wonderful things we have right now, I think, is a silver lining coming out of the pandemic. There's been a lot of hardship for, I'd say, most of us, if not all of us, but a silver lining. We've changed and work has changed. So, we have an opportunity. Hey, Chad, I know we've been working virtually for the past 20 months. Thought it might be helpful if we just talk about what's the best way for us to work together in this new world. I know you're going to the office a couple of days, I'm going to the office. What do you think might work for us?
Hmm.
Just have a conversation. Well, it's really annoying when you send me text all day. Oh, okay. Don't like text. Well, I can't file them. And I like to file. So if it's project related, could you send me an email? But if it's a quick status update, how about doing that via text?
Got it. And stop using Slack altogether.
I'm not jumping on that. Slack is a very powerful tool, works well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. As we said earlier, right? Not every app for every person. So
Exactly.
there you go. Some of you out there think Slack is awesome, and some of you are out there saying, stop slacking me. Okay.
Because I'm
Let's,
turning into a slacker.
there you go. Excellent. Right. So the fourth thing on your list was develop. It was find that gap. How do you get from here to there? And what are those first few things? So, as much as you're willing to share, Carson, what's the gap? What are you looking to develop? What's next for you? Let's coach you a little bit here and share with our audience what are then those things as you're laying this out for yourself?
Yeah, so the next gap for me is to do a deeper dive into social media in terms of brand and marketing. I
Okay.
don't know much about that, and I know it's important for our business. So want to develop enough knowledge of how to use it to either find that right partner, the vendor partner to do it for us, or how do we bring some of it in-house on our team.
Okay. So, what are those next few steps you would do now that you kind of know the path you want to go down?
So the platform that we use almost exclusively is LinkedIn.
Okay.
So the first step that I would take would just be a quick search on best practices on marketing on LinkedIn. See if there's some thought leaderships, videos, some articles that I can read, and then from there start to look at who are the thought leaders in this space. Then I would start following them, looking at what they're doing, and then think about, okay, now that I've seen some best practices, am I ready to look for someone that might be able to help us with that?
Okay. And now I'm all about accountability, and our audience knows that. So, Carson, by when will you have that done so that you can? All right. Well, we'll let you off the hook because you're our guest. We're not. That would be the next question that would say, when will I get an email or a text from you saying that you have done that already? So, folks, remember, in your world, you earn the right to take people to that next step. So, just
Absolutely.
I'm watching you.
I
Okay.
like it. I like it.
And then that last thing on your list, so it was identifying our recognition points, it was our strengths, it was playing nice with others with the platinum rule, it was developing in that gap with that accountability question thrown in there, folks. And
100%.
then that last one you had was finding meaning, which we've talked about, but show us that in your world. You showed it to me quickly in mine. What's the meaning for you in your job?
So our clients are broadly struggling and how to work effectively in this new world of work and engage and retain team members. And we're helping them think through it. We've got programs and coaching and tools that are helping them keep their talent and equipping their leaders to lead in this new world. And that to me feels very meaningful and very purposeful.
Okay, so I heard in there retain. Always a huge challenge for anybody in any industry, whether it's just the world changed, so people made changes, whether it's the world hadn't changed through COVID, that there was still people. Give us some tips for flip it around now. Instead of us taking ownership of it, let me be the leader of the organization. How do I retain my people, or how do I retain my customers at a higher level? That's got to be a little bit more outward. So talk to us a little bit more about retention.
Mhm. So to me, retention from a customer perspective is first and foremost, you know their needs and how are you serving those
Yeah.
needs.
So that's the platinum rule that we talked
Platinum
about.
rule, we're
Yep.
right back there. So do you know what their needs are and are you caring for those needs? Internally, as a leader, the default that I'm seeing, a default retention strategy is I'm just going to give you a bonus. I'm going to raise your salary. Great, that's important. But I'm going to go back to the engagement and fulfillment. As a leader, do you know how your team member wants to be recognized? Do you know how they want to grow in their career? What are you doing to support that? What is their purpose? What is their meaning behind their work? How do you support and enable that? How are you supporting them and leveraging their strengths to advance the team's goals? Not saying leader, you own it, but are you aware of it? And the other piece on the retention is, are you in conversation? Are you talking to your team members? Minimally, I believe leaders and team members need to meet once a week. And this is an active feedback coaching session. You're developing me. I'm making sure that we're advancing against the priorities that you've given me. And that conversation allows that connectivity so that very quickly I can see if you're burned out and overwhelmed, or if I can see that you're still engaged in the work.
So even though I didn't know that was going to be your answer, basically what I did to you of running you down the list is what you're saying leaders should be doing to their people. And we just modeled it for them. And now it would be just meeting with you every week, knowing to tell you in the moment, you're doing amazing. Keep it up, right? I'm seeing you do it. And now making sure, hey, did you watch those videos on LinkedIn? Hey, have you done this? Hey, how has it impacted your meaning in the job over the last week? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Exactly. And oh, I want to connect you with Bob in marketing because I know that he's got some insights on how to use social media. So I'll send that email and make that introduction since you don't know Bob.
Awesome. Okay. Own it, love it, make it work. So you talk to us about owning it, right? It's on us.
Mhm.
Okay. Love it.
It's about the meaning, using your strengths, relationships that are fulfilling and engaging. You've got a friend at work, you're playing well in the sandbox.
Okay. And then making it work is actually just doing the job.
Doing the job and having the conversation. So we've got a lot of folks that'll do the first piece, they'll own it and they'll do the work to identify and they'll start to love it, but they won't have the difficult conversation with their manager to say, Chad, it really helps me improve my performance when you give me real time verbal feedback and praise.
Okay. I got one more question for you, and then I'm going to open it up to whatever questions you still want to throw out there. Okay. So, look, nothing's smooth, right? It never just goes we would love it to just always be smooth and easy. It's never as smooth and easy as we want it to be. So sometimes we hit roadblocks,
Yes.
right? Sometimes those things get in our way, maybe while we're defining what this meaning is, or we've got momentum, or we've got dreams. How do you make sure we don't lose that? How do we make sure our confidence doesn't suffer? How do you make sure that we don't just give up on our dreams because, oh my gosh, it got a little hard or something along the way? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So let's use a real example. Let's say, for example, that your roadblock is your manager,
Okay.
which probably a lot of folks can identify with, even as an entrepreneur. So if you don't have a manager, think about your most difficult client that you have.
Okay. Got it.
So let's go to the entrepreneur route. So you have a client, you've asked them to send over some information to you so that you can prepare a proper scope document. So you've asked them, let's say you're in technology, you've asked them to send over current system requirements so that you can put together a proposal. They seemed excited. You're excited. This is going to be a new project, new industry. You're going to get to develop some new skills. This is a sweet passion project. It's going to be great. Radio silence. They don't get back to you. What do you do? Okay. You ping them again. Still don't get back to you. Ping them a third time. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was busy. And you ask them the question. So, Chad, I sent over the scope document request 2 weeks ago that I needed to prepare the quote for you. You told me you wanted to begin the project December 1st. The story I'm telling myself is that maybe you're not that committed to this project, or that this really isn't something that your company needs, or maybe you got busy. What am I missing? And then you're quiet and you let them feed back to you what prevented them in getting back to you. Let them tell you if the scope has changed, but you've opened up a conversation. Here are the facts. Here's the story that I've been telling myself, whatever it is. The story I'm telling myself, you're not at fault. They let you know where you're coming from. And then once they start to engage, then we can start to get the project back on track, your dreams back on track. But you can't do it if you can't get them into the conversation.
Wow. Okay. Carson, you've been giving it to us, right? Here comes more of that recognition, right? You've been giving it to us right now for the last half hour. You've been bringing great value to our audience and all that. There's either something I didn't ask you yet that I should have asked you that you're sitting there going, oh, ask me this. I really want to tell them that. Or I'll let you reiterate something, you choose, that they really need to hear to take away from this. Give us last thoughts from Carson Tate on this Win, Make, Give episode.
Your engagement, fulfillment, and happiness at work is your responsibility.
You know, if I could have sent you a message and said, say that sentence again, I think I might have done that. And you hit on that, and I didn't even have to cue you on that. Folks, look, we want you to join us in our Facebook group. I'm not done yet, though. Facebook.com/group/win, make, give, because we want you to go to WorkingSimply.com and we want you to take the assessment. I'm going to take it as soon as we get off this call. How long does the assessment take?
10 minutes max.
All right, we can all find 10 minutes because we're all assessment junkies, right? Come on in. Let us know what your assessment said. Don't hesitate to connect. Is that the best way for them to connect with you, Carson? If there's like, oh, I got to follow up with her after she said something.
Yep, there's an email address there that they can email right from the assessment, and then LinkedIn, the Carson Tate on LinkedIn. Just message me and we'll get back to you.
All right, there you go. And folks, we've got a link in our show notes for you to check out Own It, Love It, Make It Work, How to Make Any Job Your Dream Job by Carson Tate. Carson, on behalf of Bob, who avoided us today, and Ben, who usually leaves us two to do the interviews, and on our audience, I want to thank you for taking the time and giving us some great, great, powerful nuggets over this little half hour that we had together.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, share this episode with someone who you know is either struggling at work or needs to find a little more meaning, or heck, you just want them to go take the assessment and you make me be the one who keeps telling them to go take it. Whatever it would be, share this episode with somebody. Don't forget to give us a rating or review. And folks, as always, until our next episode, do good